was county commissioner for 3 terms over in Lauderdale and then state representative. I worked with Dr. Bronner when he brought in the Marriott and over in the shows. I've been involved in industrial recruitment since '96. I'll have to give a shout to our Shoals Economic Development Authority because they have basically on some industries that come in, they basically have issued incentives for them. But on their part, they had to provide X amount of jobs at this date. They had to meet X amount payroll, yada yada, and if they didn't, the incentives were brought back. You know, if we can do it that way, I don't have any problem with it. It's really, times have changed. You know, used to an industry came in because they liked the workforce, but that's where education comes back. David Bronner, our #1 industrial recruiter out in Alabama, what did this supermajority do? They make him report to a 3-member political board. He gets calls. He has to make split-second decisions on investments. He's done a good job with the retirement money. Now he has to call and get set up to get approval to do that. That's not good. But he is our #1 industrial developer in Alabama. And he'll tell you the first thing when a business comes in, the first thing I want to know, what kind of education system do you have for my workers coming in and their families? What do you have in the school system that is going to make my child not go into a life of crime? And what amazes me with Alabama, if they would invest in education, we've got a prison, overcrowded in prison. Mm-hmm. If we invested in our education the way we need to, we could eliminate in the early years some of these juveniles that have a life of crime. My mother, like I said, taught 38 years, and my dad, she raised me on a teacher's salary. My dad committed suicide when I was 1.5 years. So she raised me. He came back from World War II and had some really bad mental issues. And so
nobody knew how to treat it.
Nobody knew back. That was 1957.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know today that the suicide rate is just as high today, even with the treatment, as it was back? I mean, that's just a fact. But you know, we've got to solicit companies. And I tell you what, I am so fed up with everything I pick up. It says made in China, made in Mexico. When are we going to realize? And it's the big corporate world, because if you can have child labor over here do it for 50 cents an hour, 24/7 a week, and still charge them, we've got to get our workers back to work here in America and in Alabama. So, you know, we've got to really concentrate. We've got to get down there. We've got to work together, and there's no working together right now.
Mm-hmm.